Hey everybody, welcome to our first episode of Respawn Plays, and today we are going to be going through the single-player mission in Titanfall 2, The Beacon. I'm Jay Frechette, and I'm the community manager here at Respawn.
I'm Chad Grenier, senior designer at Respawn, and I was a scripter on this level.
I'm Robert Tobby, lead environment artist, and I did some of the environment art on this level.
Most some environment art.
Hi, my name's Jason McCord. I'm a lead designer, and I did the geo and the layout for this level.
Hi, I'm Jacob Virginia, and I'm a senior environment artist at Respawn, and I worked on some of the environment art for Beacon.
So we'll kick this off right here at the beginning of the mission. This is, maybe about 2/3 of the way through the campaign?
Yeah.
For this mission?
What is it, mission 5?
5 or 6?
I
5?
think we should know this.
I think it's hard to remember when you're...
Well, it's different, when you're working on it in dev.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's even hard to remember the actual shift names for it.
So this was actually the first level in single player that we made.
Yeah.
It was the prototype. So a lot of experimenting. I think this level was redesigned. I lost track probably 5, 6, 7 times.
Wow. Huge changes.
Yeah, the whole intro right here changed. Actually, really late, didn't it? We weren't climbing up to begin with, were we?
Yeah, there was a version where we were going to start in a campfire.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So this is actually the only part in the game that you cannot get into BT. We tried to make the entire game so that you can get in and out of BT sort of whenever you want. But being the first level, we were trying it out this way, and it never really got updated, so it's the only part you can't get in him.
Yeah, it was one of those, you can tell we wanted him to put on a performance there. He's doing a lot of cool animations, so I think in the end we were like, it's cooler to see him animating and performing there than it is for you to be able to climb in him just for that one moment.
Something I always tell people when they're playing through the campaign for the first time is watch BT.
Yeah.
Because he does a lot of cool contextual stuff.
Yeah, he's animated really cool.
So that fog was interesting. Did you want to go into design specifics for that, or?
Yeah, we were really trying to come up with ways that the player would need to use BT for various level reasons where the pilot can't get across this fog because it's electric, and so he would have to get in BT because BT's immune to it. So it was sort of finding ways to let us cleverly design levels where you get to rely on BT to do stuff. So that's kind of where that came from.
And for the art side, it was kind of an interesting challenge because we were trying to figure out how to do a more beautiful terrain that you would want to go to, but then we had a battle going on in there, so it was kind of like an eerie beauty. And then the electricity inside of the fog tried to make it read as the just dangerous.
Yeah, I always had this image that we got concepted that I really loved of the Titan waist deep, and then you'd always saw the torso up, moving around in the fog, and of course in the version of the game where we have infinite resources and infinite tech, the fog would all move with it, and that was the version of my head. It was this super cinematic.
I have to bring up that door that they just walked through. That door was giving me nightmares for weeks, and it sounds like such an easy thing to make a door that opens and closes. But when we made this, we had a very little tech that we needed to build a single player game. And getting the doors to work with AI pathing and BT going through a door, again, it sounds like simple tasks, but it just took us a long time to get it to work.
Yeah, he wouldn't follow, right? Randomly he would just stay outside and not come in, and then nothing would progress.
It'd be working, and then every couple of weeks the door was broken again.
It's kind of a joke that we have now that whenever we talk about how easy something should be, it's just add this really easy feature, and you go, yeah, think about doors. Doors should be the easiest feature in the world, but it was extremely complicated to get working.
So this section of the level is a pretty good example of action blocks becoming a level. Action blocks are sort of these maps that we would make and spend a few days on them and sort of explore some crazy gameplay idea or wall running ideas, stuff like that, just as a quick way to iterate through different ideas. And so Jason pretty much went off and tried a bunch of crazy stuff, and we made this section of the level as a, let's explore all the different wall running and mobility challenges that we can do.
Yeah. It was like, what if there was a place where humans weren't really supposed to go down here, but a pilot can do it because he's super awesome and he can wall run and he can do all these cool stuff. So, Jake, you want to talk about how it was to art something that had no humans allowed?
Yeah, it was interesting just because there are things that, I mean, obviously it wasn't made for humans, so there's certain ways you have to be kind of clever on how you put the wall running in, and make some of these puzzles and traps for him to get around, and to still make it look like that there can be life there. Like we have the Marvin doors where the Marvins can come through to work on some of this innards of the beacon. And that was one of the ways I think we brought life back into it pretty well. This is like one of my favorite rooms of the log roll room where you gotta run across these.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
How does the collaboration work between design and art? Are you guys like working in parallel, or is it something where Jason, once you're kind of finished with the level, you hand it off to these guys? Are you asking for stuff? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it usually goes where I'm working on an idea with, that I have in my head from an action block or from talking with some people, wherever the inspiration comes from, and then working with concept and talking to the guys a bunch about what we can make it look like. But it stays in a super rough form for a long time, and then we do a lot of playtesting on it, and then at some point there's a sort of confidence level that gets hit, and then we pass it on, and then Art starts working on making it look good. And then there's a little back and forth after that too, and hopefully it goes smoothly.
Yeah, there are times though whenever we're working on a style like parallel, like for the opening of the level, like I was probably doing the rock style for all of outside Beacon, while Jason was working on the design of it. And I think that actually influenced you. So that whole beginning section when you're coming down the cliff, wasn't actually in your design, and then we added it in later.
Yeah.
These ghosts that you see doing the wall run ahead of you, they were actually prototyped in this level as well. A lot of the features in the game actually were first done in this level as a prototype. That was one of them, because a lot of the people that we had trying out the level didn't quite understand what was supposed to be done there. So somebody come up with the idea of have your AR helmet sort of show you the way.
Yeah, we have this interesting problem in this game where we can turn up, we can turn down the volume. We can turn down the difficulty when it, for easy mode, but we can't turn down the wall running challenges. So the game sort of has a base difficulty for movement, and that was one of the ways that we tried to work around that, to where if you're just not as good at wall running and mobility, the ghost guy kind of lets you know where to go. But if you're really good, you just don't even pull that guy up at all.
And before we even tried that, we actually had something in the game where you could adjust the difficulty. You had two difficulties. You had the game difficulty as far as combat, and then we had a difficulty slider. And so some of the challenges would actually get easier. There'd be extra walls to run on and things like that. But that just proved to be too time-consuming, and I think we found a better solution for it.
Whose idea was this, that you had to take this arc tool from a Marvin?
I want to say maybe it was my idea. I know that I had, the first iteration of the Marvin, I had given him the arc tool, and he was standing by an assembly line of Marvins that were getting transported, and he would randomly reject, he was quality control, and he would reject one. He would shoot a button that would drop him into the incinerator.
Wow.
Yeah, it was it was dark.
So sad.
The sad face.
So this guy's Reddit famous
Who's
now.
just-
They call him the saddest robot.
Wow, you did both. You took the art tool and killed him. Wow.
Yeah, for a while you just took it. Actually, what I remember how that happened is the we went up and took the Marvin, or took the art tool from the Marvin, and then the animators made him sad. Like they just did it on their own, and we got the animation, and it was like, that's hilarious. Well, and we had like broken the chest face at some point in development, and so when we first got that in there, the chest face was off, and it wasn't really a high priority to fix at the time. So that moment was like, okay, time to fix the face.
That's awesome.
So Jake, you did most of the environment art in this like sub level.
Yeah, a lot of it was me, and then also back and forth with Jason, like that area that you had that they had just gone through, or between the fan rooms. There's a bunch of girdering and stuff, and we kind of worked together. And one day I went over to his desk, and he was like, "Look at this!" It was super awesome. So we did a lot of work, like in unison, trying to get stuff looking cool. But yeah, like a lot of the puzzles in this room kind of revolve around the fans and the arc tool. And trying to navigate around like the airflow that's coming through this room. And there was a lot of experimenting, I think, that came along with that, but turned out pretty cool with the puzzles, I think.
Jake, are you making a lot of the actual props and models in here as well, and placing them within the map?
Yeah, like a lot of the textures and models and stuff were all made by me, and then mostly placed by me. Some of the outside areas between these fan rooms, Jason would help with. They were mostly like a modular set, and then we could kind of just plop them wherever we wanted and build the level that way.
Yeah, the way we work is with a lot of these, like you were saying, a lot of the stuff is modular, so the artist can come in and make it look really good, and then we'll keep playtesting, and we might find something where, okay, through all this playtesting, we figured out we need to scooch some stuff or move this staircase or something, so it's really easy for a designer to go ahead and do that on his own.
It's like my favorite moment, the Sonic room.
Oh, I totally agree.
It's so satisfying to be able to run through all those walls like that.
It should have been like 3 times longer.
Yeah, just the whole levels.
I would play that.
I remember at some point you had like a bridge going down the middle here.
Yeah, there was a bridge. That was an example of the multiple difficulties. On easy mode, you could just shut the fans off and walk across a catwalk.
Yeah, I remember when we first made that part, people were having a lot of trouble with the fan running.
The fans used to be a lot further apart, and it was very difficult, and a lot of people couldn't make it through, so we had to make it a little easier.
Awesome. Well, that was our first part of the episode. Check the link below for episode 2 of Making the Beacon.